Hello everybody, my name is Monique. Welcome to Monique's Home, and today we're going to talk about how we belittle our children's feelings. So I thought this was a really important video to do because I'm very guilty of this myself, and I'm sure, as parents, we're so busy all the time. We have so many things to do at home, our chores, our work, that we sometimes brush off our children's feelings, and we might not think that it's a big deal at that moment, but really the message that we're sending them is that they're not important and their feelings aren't either. And this happens because we are not at that moment really aware or conscious about what we're saying and what we're doing. And we're not to blame, really. It's not that we're bad parents. It's just that sometimes in the busyness of the day, it's hard to stop and really be conscious about what we say. I'm very guilty of this. I have my kids with me the entire day. I homeschool them, and I work while they're learning. I work right after we do our homeschool. So sometimes I'm just up to my neck with the things that needs to get done, and when they start crying or they're feeling scared, it's sometimes easier to brush them off. It's not right, but that's what happens. So when does this happen? What do we do? What do we say that actually belittles our children and their feelings? To solve a problem, we have to be aware of what we're doing. We need to be conscious about what we're saying. So this can happen when we rush our children through their feelings, when we end it abruptly, when we say things like, "You're okay now, stop crying because you're okay now." And we're not giving them the choice, we're not giving them the time to decide for themselves if they're really okay or not. We're deciding it for them. We're rushing them through the feelings because we think we don't have time. Another way that we belittle our children's feelings is when we redirect their attention without really knowing the root cause of their negative emotion. For example, your child is crying and you say things like, "Oh, here's an ice cream cone, stop crying," or "Stop crying now, here's a dinosaur," or "Here's the toy car that you want." So we're giving a band-aid solution without really delving deep into their emotions and finding out really what's going on in the situation. Another way that I'm really guilty of too is I minimize their feelings. So for example, when Matina comes to me and tells me that she has a scratch on her knee or she bumped her knee somewhere in the house, and because I'm rushing around, I would say sometimes, "Oh, you're okay, it's just a small scratch," or "It's not even bleeding." And to us, maybe it is really a small scratch, and most of the time it probably is. But what if that in that instance it's not? Maybe in that instance your child is feeling a little bit more hurt, or maybe they're just wanting that chance to connect with you physically, and we're taking that opportunity away from them. Another way is when we discredit their feelings, when we say that they're not scared at all or they're not sad at all. And for example, your child is watching a movie and it scares them a little bit, and you say things like, "Oh, you're okay, it's not scary, you shouldn't be scared, it's not scary at all, it's just like a mummy walking around, it's not scary." And we might have good intentions for it. We might be saying that because we want them to understand that it's just a movie. But to them, they're legitimately scared. And when we say things like that, even with good intentions, it's like we're saying that your feelings are not valid and you shouldn't be feeling this way. So what can we do instead? What can we say? How can we act towards our children so that we make them feel that their feelings are important, that we are validating who they are by giving importance to how they feel? So the first thing is to practice empathy, and that's to really listen to what they're saying and not just hearing the words that they're telling us. Listen beyond what they're telling you. Are they telling you that they got a scratch? Or are they telling you that they're hurt, that they need you to care for them? So go beyond the literal meaning of what they're saying. Be empathetic towards them. Number 2 is to maybe establish a physical connection. Sometimes when our children are scared, when our children are sad, when they're upset, all they really need is for them to feel that you're there. And it's sometimes not enough to tell them that mom's here, that I'm listening to you, but they might just need a hug. They might just need you to hold their hand. While you're watching a scary movie, you can tell them, "I can, hug you while we're watching. We can hold hands while we're watching. When you're scared, you can, cuddle up with me." And And that connection, that physical connection, is really more a concrete way for them to feel that you are listening in on their feelings. Third thing that we can do is to understand the situation. So what's really going on? Is it really that they are wanting the dinosaur, that's why they're crying, or they would just want to have some time to play with you? So look at all the possible scenarios, observe really what's happening before, what's happening now, and what could it be really that your child is trying to communicate with you. And last but not the least, see it from their point of view. We were children once, so when they say that they're scared of the witch that's on TV, maybe they really are. They don't understand what that is, and that's maybe something that you were probably scared of in the beginning as well, and you've forgotten that because now you're much older. So go back to your childhood, go back to the inner child in you, and try to see things from their point of view. How would you understand things if you were in their age? And that will really help you connect with your children and their feelings. When you think about it, even now as older people, it's very important for us when we have friends, when our spouse, when our partners, when those closest to us, when our children even understand how we feel, when we're tired, when we're frustrated. If that's important to us, all the more is it important to our children. And now that we're growing up, we've grown up, we're older, I'm old, that we know the importance of people validating our feelings. Sometimes we don't want people to tell us solutions. We just want our friends to hear our feelings, to hear us out when we're sharing, if we're sad or if we're angry. So it's the same thing with our children. Let's try to remember that really our children are not that very different from us, and they also need that respect. They also need that validation of their feelings and of who they are. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this video was something that's helpful to you. Please consider liking, sharing, or subscribing to Monique's Home here on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at Monique's Home, and you will see a lot of the works that we do too in our homeschool. And you can also visit my website at www.moniqueshome.com if you're needing some printables to do with your kids at home or in school or wherever it may be. I will see you next time. Remember to make every day your own version of extraordinary.